Okay, folks, good morning, hail, hail, and welcome to the latest edition of the Belfast Boys Celtic podcast, live at 11:30, Sunday the 29th of January, and it's 2017. Good morning, and welcome to my new compadre, Miss Rachel Lynch. How the hell are
Hello.
you keeping well?
I'm good.
You seem very fresh this morning. You must have been in bed early last night, were you?
I was, yeah. I stopped drinking about 4 because I knew I was going to be on.
Oh yeah, standard, eh? That is an early night for you. So yeah, guys, we're big welcome to Rachel, and I really do appreciate her teaming up with me moving forward. Shout out to Stephen Ray, obviously, the good lad that he was. He's since left the podcasting platform for now, anyway. So I seen an opportunity, and I approached Rachel, and she says, "Well, I'm clearly better looking than Stephen," so it was a given. So we'll kick off the show with where we are at the moment. So looking at the league table there, Rachel, it's no joke, is it? It's no joke, is it?
No, it's brilliant. I've seen a lot reported. I mean, it's different, obviously, in Ireland. The way the media reports things over here is obviously different to the media in Scotland. So over here, it's just, I mean, there's not a big excitement about it. People over here just expect Celtic to win the league anyway, but
yeah.
it's still being written about as pretty iconic, like brilliant, whereas I know I've seen reports last week in the media in Scotland where it's kind of like saying, catch yourselves on, fans, this has to be boring, you're winning everything, you're running away with everything, when does it get boring? I'm thinking, as a Celtic fan, can you ever be bored of winning?
No, I mean it's something that I'll never tire of anyway. But the league standings are 21 games played, 61 points. I think we're doing my math there. I think we're 19. Is that 19 clear?
Not 20. Yes,
since yesterday. So Aberdeen temporarily in the second there for a while. So they were in third place for a while. I'm sure it was pretty frightening for them. They accept that they're no longer the club that they think they are. But so over the last few days, a couple of iconic things have happened. Birthday of John Thompson, the Prince of Goalkeepers, as well. The Gaffer's birthday there as well, the other day. So since New Year's Eve, it's been haunting as a Celtic fan. It's like withdrawal symptoms. I'm like a Celtic junkie. I had like literally nothing to go by. So first game.
You wanted to have been in Australia for that game on New Year's Eve, because I can tell you I've never experienced anything like it in my life. Have you ever seen a Celtic and Rangers match, or any Celtic match for that matter, kick off at 11:15 at night? Live. Madness.
I can only
a different time scale, so it was crazy. And I mean, yourself, in Scotland, it's like get them in at 9 o'clock in the morning and get them out by 11 o'clock, that's it, you want you in and out early. But if they could, the police would have you in at 6:30 in the morning, but in Australia, 11:15 at night kick off, and it was absolutely, the place was mad.
Yeah, and that was from memory, the New Year's celebrations kicked off at half time for you. Was that right, or in and around then?
Oh my God, it was like, I'm obviously in Sydney, and Sydney it kicks off New Year's. That's the first place that comes to New Year's, so it's busy, and they have the big fireworks today that everyone talks about. And I remember we got up that morning and we were like, right, prepare ourselves, we won't get too drunk early, we'll head out and we'll, go see the game. I mean, when you're talking about a match kicking off at 11:15, and then there was 7, I can remember it well, there was 6 or 7 minutes at a time, and I hit the stroke of 12 o'clock and nobody in the pub moved. Everyone was just watching these screens, and I mean, you have a fantastic fireworks display outside, and people have travelled to your side of the world to come and see, and we're sitting in a pub watching a match that people would say you can watch any time of the year, anywhere, but yourself, it's when you're away on holidays, especially, I was taking in the fact that it was at night time, and where else would you get that? It was brilliant. It was a really good day. Absolutely
quality then. So obviously they started out a bit daunting for us, the first 20, maybe 30 minutes, and then we moved into our own. So yeah, I mean, it was a great way to split up before they headed to Dubai, and then it was like a 3-week void of loneliness, and I wanted someone to just talk to me about anything Celtic related. So I mean, it was killer. But I mean, speaking to Lisa Miller there a few weeks ago, we're saying that it certainly stands by the team that they their next break is really going to be 2 weeks off in the summer here, and that's before the Champions League things kick off. So it does make sense. So we had Albion Rovers there last week. 3-0. Good way to come back. Sinclair, Dembele, and Armstrong. Those three names as a trio, Rachel. Some of those three names that was a trio there. Sinclair, Dembele, and Stuart Armstrong.
I know, and just before I came on here, I was looking online and a few people were tweeting saying that certain players are out already, and I was just looking at going, you don't believe anything you see on Twitter, but I'm hoping that I'm even just thinking of the game today, and I'm thinking, I know I'm skipping ahead here, but I'm just thinking, who would you start? Griffiths, Dembele, what do you do? I think because Griffiths on his park, you could probably go with something like that, but no, I mean, what a change from, Armstrong when he came to Celtic, I kind of thought, okay, what are we doing? And then, I think he himself has developed a lot under Rodgers as well. I know to name but a few, a lot of them have, but no, he's impressed me. He has impressed me. Yeah,
it's for me, and this sounds awful, but I think Dembele's more of a big game player, and that's no disrespect to Griffiths at all. He banged in 40 odd goals last season, but with the smaller teams, I think that Dembele, it's not that he lacks interest, it's just that there's no urgency around him. I think he's like a poacher striker type thing. He's standing around waiting for something to happen, whereas Griff's like on speed, running around like a complete madman, and just give me the ball, give me a ball, I want to score. And I'm gutted for him. I really am. I'm gutted for him, and I'm sure that's pretty hard to take if you've put in 40 goals last season.
I know. And then if you get games like today, I just think, like you said, he runs around, he just wants to score. At times I'm very frustrated. You get very frustrated watching him because you think, you selfish bastard, but you just know he wants to score, and especially, if you played him against Hearts, you know the story there. So, he takes the ball anywhere and he can start, but God love him, and then the whole thing with Scotland as well. Obviously his confidence has been kicked big time as well.
Yeah, it's a shame of him, really, isn't it? But his heart's in the right place, and as you said, you can call him a selfish or greedy or whatever. But I think that he's over trying, and he's eager to please. And if I bring you back to the Hapoel Beersheva game, when he scored that free kick, he ran to Brendan Rodgers and jumped into his arms, and I was like, God, it's like what a thing of beauty. And for him, the fall from grace as such, it's just it's soul destroying for him.
And it must be true, no fault of his own as well. That must be worse if you've had a few bad games. You know what I mean? And you kind of say to yourself, you know what, this is all on myself, and I need to get myself fit. I need to do this. Has he really actually done anything wrong?
The thing, what happened? He got injured, and that was it. He got injured.
And then you had Dembele, and just. That was it, yeah.
Yeah, the rest is history. So moving into midweek, then we had St Johnstone at home. Not exactly a glamour tie. We did boss the game for the majority of it. Tommy Wright there, the St Johnstone manager, they've come up as good stock this year. They're one of those teams that you're like, fucking, this isn't going to be easy. And to be quite honest with you, watching the game, to get it over the line at 1-0, I was an element of relief that we didn't break the trend that was going on.
Oh, 100%. And like I said, they're kind of bogey team. You watch it, I don't mean that disrespect to them, but they'd be the ones that you'd say they'd get a sneaky draw for us, or, and that's not, we're on fine form at the minute, and still going into that game, I was like, midweek as well, yourself, you're kind of, just get it done 1-0, and as I always says, even if you don't win it by a million goals, you win every game by 1-0, you win everything, so you just take it and move on.
It's the stuff that champions, it's the stuff that champions are made of. You're grinding out those results isn't always easy, but the thing is, with the team at the minute coming back, I think we're taking our time coming back from Dubai, getting back into our own. So 3-0 at Albion Rovers was a given. However, coming back into the big games now, and the Hearts game is always a game that we want. Well, not that we don't want to win other games, but it's always a game that we need to make a point of saying, let's be having you, and not a better team to do that against is Hearts,
Yeah, and they're struggling big time. They haven't, you know what I mean? Yeah, and today, I don't think. Well, I can't say it'd be no different, but I can't see them providing much today. So, who knows? They're the manager now, God love him, that's under severe pressure, and he's only in the job.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was doomed to fail from the start, wasn't he? So I'm not saying that's not my words, but I mean, no one gave him a chance, so he's under severe pressure. So I mean, Celtic today going to break that record, hopefully, and that's another dent in his CV gone there, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as the record goes, today we can break the record that was set by the Lisbon Lions all those years ago.
Yeah.
In your lifetime, is there anything that you can relate to that's like that? Like me personally, I'm 33. I know I don't look like it. I know I look younger. But it's the only thing I can relate to in my lifetime would have been, I was there in '98 when we stopped 10 in a row, and Seville. That's what I have.
I was like 90, which is 1998. Yeah, I was 7, so I don't.
All right, don't no need to rub it in, like.
But that would have been a memory of mine. Now, although a good memory to have for yourself. Now, my first memory, and would you believe, it's my first memory of being a Celtic fan that I can remember because I was 12. It would have been around the time of the treble with Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
So for me, that was, and I mean, when I started, I grew up. I mean, my dad obviously supported Celtic since he was a child. So I mean, he had, like yourself, you had, you know, the 90s, they hadn't got the great times. So he kind of, when I started supporting Celtic, I've only supported Celtic when they've been brilliant. So
yeah.
I'm a real glory hunter. I don't know bad times, and that's why when we had, not the bad times, but we didn't have great times with, like, the last couple of years with Delia and stuff like that, that I kind of said that was and I remember saying this on Twitter and people saying, oh, don't be so dramatic, but that was my 90s because I never had a bad Celtic time, you know, and I know it was nowhere in comparison to still winning the league, but I was so used to just Celtic being great, you know.
Yeah, lovely.
That was my time, and I know, like I said, people will be listening to this now and going, that's absolute shite, she doesn't know tough times. But I mean, when your first memory of Celtic is winning the treble, you expect a lot.
You've set the bar there.
Yeah, definitely. So that would have been my greatest memory, and of course going to school and everything. I went to school with people that would have supported Liverpool and Man United, and during that time the treble, me and Celtic were just they were brilliant. You know, and you know, you used to collect the newspapers, used to give out the little stickers, and it used to be Liverpool and it was Man United, and then it was just Celtic for that time, you know. So it was brilliant. It really was. That's my first memory as such. And then obviously Seville, I remember that well. But that would have been my first memory, would have been the treble, so I'm very lucky to have had that.
Yeah, you sure are. I mean, going into what Paul Larkin said in the Asterisk years, that his, so many people can say that was my team, that was my time. That for Paul it was Love Street 86. I was 2 years old when that happened. So I mean, for now, if you think about the blanket coverage that Celtic fans, I mean, young and old, can turn around and say, this is our team, this is our time. I mean, Martin O'Neill done a treble, great, happy days. But I mean, I'm talking, this is colossal. The club is like a juggernaut moving forward collectively. And I mean, it's from board level to fan level, and it's a combined unit, and it really blows me away. But on a basis that Brendan Rodgers is really quite modest, it's not fazing him, you know, and he's cool as a cucumber. Like, I mean, there's nothing that's going to startle him in any way, shape, or form. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, it's fantastic, and like you say, it's kids nowadays that I think, I mean, I spoke about this before, particularly here in Ireland. I mean, the English clubs are big over here, as you well know. You know, you have your Man United, you have your Liverpool, you have this kind of thing, you know, and you're competing against that type of thing. But Celtic now are everywhere. I mean, you're going into pubs now, and I'm not saying Celtic is first choice, but it's back to being, you know, they'll have the match on, which is brilliant, you know, and there's a great hype about it. I mean, one of my friends is a marketing sales for Lifestyle Sports here in Ireland, and she said last year their top toe on jerseys was obviously the Ireland jersey because the Euros were everywhere, and you had they said then the Liverpool, Man United and Celtic, they were the 4 best sellers for them. So that, I always think that's a great sign, you know, and you know, you can't judge anything by jersey sales, and I know most people, I always know people that are buying people jerseys, if they're buying young kids tops, they don't know who they support, they buy them the Celtic top because it's a neutral.
Yeah.
It's still a great sign, you know what I mean? And things that she said from the year before, it was Celtic wearing the top 4. I can't remember, there was some other top that was there, but she, you know, that it's a good sign. It's a good sign to see. So
Yeah, you're right. You're right in what you're saying there. You can't gauge it by jersey sales. However,
No.
if you're in Sydney on New Year's Eve and there's a bar full of people and they won't go outside to watch the fireworks celebrations, and you're so many. How far is Sydney from Celtic Park? I mean,
oh God, I know. And I mean, you're talking like they were Irish. You know, to be fair, there were mostly Irish that were there, but there was plenty of Scots. There was English. There was so many people there. And you're talking about as well a bar in the centre of Sydney. So it wasn't even as though we had to go out to a den somewhere to beg them to put on New Year's Eve Celtic match on. They had advertised this. I mean, this was their event on Christmas or New Year's Eve. Was the Celtic game, and it was carnage, but it was amazing. They had the tunes blasting. The revs on from about 7 o'clock that evening. You know what I mean? So it was everything you would have wanted. I mean, I loved Australia, and that probably for me would have been the best moment in terms of a night out, if you know what I mean. It was brilliant, and you then realise how much of a reach Celtic has around the world, because like you say, you're the other side of the world, and these people have come out on New Year's now. Most of them live there, grandson still. They were coming out on New Year's to watch this game, and this was their big night out. You know what I mean? So as sad as that might sound to some people, you just realise that Celtic as well bring a lot of people together, because over there, a lot of the lads I've spoken to that had come over years ago, they said when they got involved with the CSC over there, that's how they met people. I got to know people. So they were lovely stories, and people sticking together, and it was nice, and some of the Australians were coming in just to watch the lads singing and everything, and it really was brilliant. But like you say, you get to notice then how far afield Celtic really are. The corners of the world. It's crazy.
Certainly refreshing. I mean, I experienced that in Orlando there in Borussia Mönchengladbach game away. I think you were at it actually, and it was 3 o'clock in the day. Kick-off. I was at Wet and Wild across the road, and there was a guy with a Celtic tattoo, and he says, I says, you going to watch the game later on? He says, aye, we're going to the Lucky Leprechaun. And I says, yeah, it'll be full of people, and he says, do you reckon? So we opened the doors, and it was wall to wall. I mean, it was people everywhere, and it's refreshing to see it, and it's testament that not necessarily the board, but the fan base as well, and you see all these new fans coming on, and I love hearing people's Celtic stories. Yeah. I know how they found the club and stuff. There was one there, Michael Duffy, Celtic signed him from Derry, and what happened was, obviously, did you hear about that? I was absolutely
crazy. I put a story on it. It was brilliant.
And
brilliant, yeah.
He's now signed for Dundalk. Michael Duffy.
Well, I'll see him next season.
Allegedly.
So, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I actually seen that yesterday. The priest, I mean, fair enough, he's an Irish priest, but I mean, he actually made a point of, when he was touring Ireland, to go out of his way and buy a Celtic jersey, so absolutely mental. And great stories like that. I mean, the American guys like Dr. J and Rev and Chris Long and so on, they have no affiliation to the Celtic whatsoever. It's just that it found them in one way, shape or form, it's brilliant. People buy into the story, really, don't they?
Yeah, and then you have, like you say, there are great stories where you find people that I like meeting people that had no influence, and they like you said, they found Celtic, whatever, whereas in some people's houses, like mine, you have no choice. You just have to.
Yeah.
But
take it or get out.
What?
Take it or move out.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it. No, I mean, my house address is Celtic Park, so I from first, I had no choice in life. That was what it was going to be. And it was none of this shite of, you come home. I remember my eldest sister, Amy, came home one year when she was in school with a Man United scarf. I was like, I won't swear, but what's that? She was like, oh, I like Man United. And I was like, you're bagged, you're out. See you later. There was none of that in my house. Like, it couldn't be. And Liverpool, and anyone that knows my dad from Twitter knows that it's Celtic. That's it. There's none of this carry on. My little brother, for a while, my dad just let him kind of do what he wanted. And he kind of started liking Chelsea. Now, my brother was only 6 or 7 at the time, and obviously, there's no way Chelsea happened. But my mum had no interest in football, right? Celtic are playing Rangers, she obviously like Celtic, and that's as far as her interest goes in anything, But I remember one year she was like, Adam, my little brother, was only, like I said, he was about 7 or 8, and my mum was like, you're gonna have to bring him to a match, right? Look, Alan, you'll just have to get over this. You have to just bring him to a game, right? I remember my dad actually went, brought him to a match, And he came home that night and he said, that's it, I'll never be doing that shite again. That's it. So, God, now, Adam's grown up now and he's like 15, 16, he's seeing the light. And one day it went from, and this was of no pressure of anyone because, I mean, I never buy him a Chelsea top. I always bought Chelsea top. There's no way I was buying him a Chelsea top. He had to save up his own pocket money and buy that. I remember one day he came home and he kind of then, it went from the Chelsea posters to he had the tricolour up and he got his room done up green and everything. So he made the transition himself. Now, obviously, I was there kind of anytime Chelsea were playing, I was thinking, had this shite on for, but now you have to let them find themselves. But there again, that's an influence of school. You know, Chelsea, when he was in school, they were the team that were winning. And, you know, kids want to support a team that when they went to school, they're like, yeah, we're on top of the league and we're this and we're that. But then I think as you grow up, you kind of realise that there's an awful lot more to football than just that, you know?
Yeah, so absolutely.
That's where he then, now there's no other team in our house in Celtic, so it's great, like I'm sure yourself.
Much easier to live in then, much easier to live in.
Much easier. Well, I always say to people, I mean, I know a lot of people that support, obviously everyone supports Celtic, they support, like, you know, Liverpool and Celtic. And I don't understand that because I always feel as though when you're watching, say Liverpool play Celtic, right, which they have and beaten them many a time, but you're watching them and you're kind of saying, who's your heart for? Who are you watching? Obviously there's one team you want to win, and if you do, that's your team. You know, like you can't watch and be like Celtic score, Liverpool score. I know I'm happy with a draw there. There's one of them that you're drawn to more so than another. I mean, I don't know how anyone can have time for two teams because Celtic would bring you on an emotional roller coaster, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know how someone could have two. I mean, it's just it's draining. So.
Yeah, so some people have more clubs than more Rory McIlroy, and it actually
countries with him as well.
It bothers me, like really bothers me. It's just like you're just hoping for something here, really, aren't you?
I know. I don't know how people do it. And then I understand a lot of people aren't into their country playing football, but like for us Ireland, you know, it's like it's the exact same as Celtic. So that's why I just say to people when you're going to games. I mean, I went to the Euros and it's like being at Celtic Festival for 2 or 3 weeks, you know?
Absolutely.
It's the exact same, whereas I'm sure with other people in different countries there's different politics involved, and you know what I mean? It's not the same. You're kind of could be sitting beside someone that you absolutely despise, and it's just, you know, whereas when Ireland go away, you know yourself, it's just a bit of crack, and it's the exact same as going to the Celtic game, so it's very much the same. Absolutely.
So moving on then, transfers, Rachel. We've signed the guy Kwasi Abue.
I was going to let you pronounce it first because I wasn't going there.
Oh yeah, I probably made a complete balls of it, but I mean it's his second name is Christ. What a time to be alive with Christ on the back of a Celtic jersey.
And he seems to be partial to an L tune as well, which I like.
I've seen his Instagram, just like, oh my god. So
somebody, he does not have a clue. God, look, I said when he signed, he has gone and Googled Celtic songs or something.
Oh my god.
Well, aren't Celtic lucky that one came up and not something else?
He'd be getting.
Imagine mopping around to, I don't know, going home for yourself. And he's just like, I can't wait to sign for this club. That's what I thought. Oh, Jesus, who knows what he could have put up there. But no, it was very funny. And he never took it down, which I thought was even better, because obviously he was probably pulled. Now, listen, mate, we have a bit of politics that go on at this club, and that's not part of it right now.
He could have got fined before he even signed for us, but I mean, it's quite really, really funny. So moving forward, there's also another guy there, Henry. I'll have a go at this one. Henry Onyekuru. So he's in. I had a go. It probably sounds nothing what his name is like, but he is refusing to play for his current team in order to try and force transfer through. What is your thoughts on players that do that? And if you want to bring in the Craig Gordon aspect of things, what happened the last few days? Not that he refused to play, but I mean, he insinuated that he wanted to hear what Chelsea had to say.
If they're doing it to come to Celtic, then happy days. If they're doing it against Celtic, then I won't use the term, but off you go, you know. I don't know, the Craig Gordon thing, I thought it was a joke when I seen it on Twitter I was in work, and it was like breaking news, that's one of the office kids, and it was like, you might want to be covering this story today, such and such is going to Chelsea. I was like, I'm not dealing with this politics today now, you know, and because I just was like, it's not even happening. And then I seen it was a genuine bid that had come in from, and I thought, you know what? Weigh it up two ways, right? If you were him, does he stay at Celtic, keep getting his game? I don't know how much he's on a week, right? But do you go to Chelsea, never get a game, but triple or quadruple your wage? What do you do?
Yeah.
You know, it's up to him. You know what I mean? Does he see, right, his career's coming to an end now in the next couple of years? He could, what he make at Celtic, he could make over there in probably a year. If he stays at Celtic for 4 years? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's not for me to say. I don't know how important money is to him or what, you know. But money is a big factor in it, and he just wanted to hear what Chelsea had to say for no other reason than how much money would they offer me to sit on the bench. And if they're going to offer me 40 or 50 grand, I don't know. Just, you know what I mean? Would you take it? I think a lot of people would say would.
Oh yeah, I mean money talks, you know, and it's one of those things that if he done that on his club, there's nothing to stop it from doing it on us. It's the equivalent of a guy cheating on his partner to go with another girl. Yeah. There's nothing to prevent him from doing it on her either. It's in his nature. But I mean, for me, not overly a fan of it. It shows disloyalty more than anything. But I mean, looking at him, he's a raw talent. He looks really, really good. The Gordon thing, I think it was a bit of scaremongering in the sense that he wanted a new deal, and he could see players like Lustig, Tierney, and so on getting new deals. And when we signed Doris de Vries at the start of the season, I mean, it was a kick in the hole that Craig Gordon needed. And has he reacted? Absolutely, he has. But I mean, he's become that keeper where we're like, we're sort of dependent on him. It's like always, it's like that one friend that you can always rely on. And have we taken it for granted? I'm not sure. I mean, he's not getting any younger. No. He's 18 months left on his contract. I would say give him another year extension and maybe offer him a coaching role or something along like that.
Which I'm sure he'd be happy enough with. Now I don't know, so I don't know what he's looking for. But I mean that would be fair enough. And like you said, I think we do take him for granted because he's just always there, and there's no messing about with him. Where we've had players at Celtic, and I won't name names because people always defend certain players that have passed and gone. But I mean, have done an awful lot more in a sly way to get their contract boosted. You know what I mean? Like getting other family members involved. You know what I mean? And you know that kind of thing. Whereas this lad's just saying, look, I'm going to hear out what Chelsea's saying here and see what's happening. If that gets the boardroom saying, look, just don't get into any of this shit, give him an extra whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then that's good around for everyone, you know what I mean? So, I mean, like, he hasn't been, like, you don't want to lose, you know what I mean? Like, I joked during the week when they were saying we were getting our main man back, you know, part of the forwards, but, like, come on, realistically, I think it's funny for the element of making 1 or 2 games this season where he's going to be entertainment value, but are we going to get anything from him? But then, he hasn't been playing bad himself, so, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was meant to happen was that Begovic was meant to go from Chelsea to Bournemouth to replace Boric, and that was sort of the triangle of transfer type thing there. So probably a load of horseshit and nothing really in it. But the moving to the players that's moved out, then Christopher Azure, he moved to Kilmarnock, and it's that old Brendan Rodgers thing again, that he's praising Brendan Rodgers for sending him out on loan. That's a testament to the man himself. But what I'm going to say is probably you more than anybody else can relate to this. Ryan Christie deleting his Twitter account. Care to discuss, Rachel?
He got caught like a dog. He's no one threatened to kill him though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jokes out. He got on lightly about it, to be honest. But the lad's a Celtic fan, right? He wrote that 2012. Right? What age is he now? What age is he? Were they saying he's still quite young?
He's still younger than me.
Probably when he's 15 or 16, right?
Yeah.
You know, they say nobody who ever owns a social media account in this day and age will ever be president of any country. Now, they have that age of Trump is, that's obviously follow. But what I'm saying is, everyone says, you know, everyone puts them. Now, I still wasn't stupid, but I just got the mob after me, but it was like, more so to do with people. I think people just waste their time. Twitter, they see something like that put up. I actually think what he wrote was kind of funny, and I'm sure people at Aberdeen think it's funny as well. If the lad does his job there, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, he didn't come out and like he just said something that, you know, if you were a Celtic fan, you'd say, you know, and it wasn't, you know, listen, Twitter has a way of bringing out the worst in other people, I think, you know.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet about that the other day because it wasn't aimed at Celtic fans. I thought Celtic fans that were retweeting it was funny because I did think it was funny. Well, I didn't like people screenshotting it and then being like, Aberdeen, what are you going to do about this? And we take, you know, this kind of carry on that people do online, trying to get people in the sack and trying to, you know, this kind of shite. Like, so, I mean, we signed a lad who came from Hearts and he had something like, I don't know, something funny. I can't even think of something funny because all I can think of is really bad things that people would say. That's far out about Celtic. I don't know. You're trying to say, I don't know, but you laugh it off it, but it wasn't. I mean, nothing that you said there was sectarian or it was, you know, you wouldn't wake up in the morning and go, I can't have him play on our team, no, that's the way he carries on. You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like that. So, I don't know. God love him though. He must have panicked. He must have really panicked when he's.
Well, quite funny though.
God love him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fickle football fan, really, isn't it? It's all is forgotten when you're scoring goals and winning games. So I mean, they'll get over it. So a little segue then into the Celtic not doing enough to help the Scottish game. So you've got the likes of Azure there. I think it was the St Mirren chairman or something that came out and said absolute piss during the week there. But I mean, they're saying that we're not doing enough to help the game in the nicest possible way. Scottish listeners, Scotland are shite, and they aren't exactly going to help the coefficient of the country. However, if we're loaning players out to the likes of Kilmarnocks, Hearts or Aberdeens and teams like that, other than Rangers, obviously, or Sevco, we are only going to help the club, well, the country's coefficient moving forward. Yes, that will influence those teams' performances against Rangers, which is we're all a fan of. However, what I'm getting at is if the league is improving by the standard of player that's playing for the teams, maybe they'll go further in Europe, thus help us with our coefficient that we don't need to play that extra qualifying game, or maybe going straight in seeded or whatever. So I know that UEFA are moving things around at the minute and it's a little bit confusing, but it's deemed as we're loaning people out to anyone but Rangers. Yeah, of course we are, but it's only going to benefit us moving forward. What's your thoughts?
Look, everybody knows we're always going to be up against it in terms of, I don't mean an agenda, I mean in terms of the league itself, right? I think everyone's moved along. It's a pity. I think Aberdeen had a chance to further develop themselves even further with the situation that happened with Rangers. Do you know what I mean? I think we could have moved everyone, but Celtic are always going to be in another league to everyone else, and I'm not being disrespectful to anyone in Scotland, but they are, you know. And it's a case of, I mean, where do you start to change? You know, where Celtic bring? See, this is what annoys me when people say, you know, Celtic are just everyone. They get everything. But like, I mean, Celtic, a lot of our money goes to the other clubs as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we qualify, we do this, we do that. Everyone gets a percentage. You know, so Celtic merely even being there is of an advantage to other clubs in Scotland. You know, it's I don't know. I have no answer to that. I mean, people ask me, would I like Celtic to go to the Champions League? And obviously I would, because of one reason only. I travel to games anyway, right? I have to leave the country to go to games like yourself, right?
Yep.
So it makes no odds to me if Celtic are away to Liverpool on a Saturday as opposed to going to, I don't know, Ross County. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't actually, in fact, it'd probably be cheaper for me.
Yeah.
So it makes no odds to me. I understand there's a lot of people that it wouldn't be, but do I think the Celtic need to move on to go further into the likes of the Champions League and stuff? Of course, but I think everyone would say that. You know, I mean, you win the Scottish League, you're getting, 1-2 million. You just about stay up in the English Premier League, you get something like 300 million. Do you know what I mean? So you're talking completely different ball games altogether, and money-wise, I know that's not answering your question how that helps the league in Scotland at the minute, but I'm just saying I haven't got an answer for you straight away as to what anyone can do, really. I mean, we're, like you said, we're loaning out players, we're doing this, we're doing that, but I mean, should that even be down to Celtic to help, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't got an answer for you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean I mean, I think there's a couple of clubs there that are cutting their nose off to spite their face. I mean, one is Hearts. I mean, there's teams that are like Kilmarnock will probably gladly sell us three stands for the home games. But I mean, Hearts given I think it was 1,500 seats, the stadium that we could probably fill that whole stand, and they would still have seats left for the fans that were moved out there. I mean, it's. But
then in a way as well, I think if I was a Hearts fan, I'd be like, fuck Celtic. I don't care if only 3 people turn up for this game. I don't want them to have an upper hand by having a home crowd here.
Yeah.
You know, so in a way, I'll take the defence of them but I know if Hearts are looking for money, they're going to get it. But do you want Celtic to be the home crowd in your own stadium? You know?
No, I get it.
It is a hard one, but then you have other clubs that have nobody turning up and they could give us the whole stadium. Do you know what I mean? And at least say, right, look, it's been shite, but at least we're after pocketing a good couple of thousand from this, you know? I don't know. It's a hard one.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. So, Scott Brown reached 400 appearances there during the week. Does he have the status as a Celtic legend, or has he a bit to go yet?
That's a tough question. I think he is legend now, isn't he? I mean, like you said, I think it's a bit similar to the Gordon situation. He's always been there.
Yeah.
So we kind of don't overlook him, but he's always been there. I mean, I've seen him in games, and I've watched him, and sometimes it's not that you forget he's there because he's always had a presence, but it's just he's always there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you'll talk about doing something after a game, and then you'll forget, and you'll stand back and go, actually, you know, he was brilliant today. You know. Yeah. So I think, you know, and he's done great. The only time I ever went against him, and I actually hated him, was when Ireland played Scotland, and I was like, now I can see why other teams think he's a bastard. After he said, I was like, he is an arsehole. And I could, you know, but it's the typical Scott Brown. He winds people up. You know? And I was on the other end of it because it was Ireland that were playing, and obviously I had no time for Scotland because Ireland were playing, and I was just like, he's a little bastard. But that's what he does to oppose the side, and that's why you love him.
Yeah.
You know, he takes no shit, and he's been good for us. He's been great, and he's been a great captain, and like I say, I just think he's always been there, and I think he's a good to have for the younger lads as well, you know.
Yeah. So good
to have around.
Sometimes it's not. So I asked the same question about Neil Lennon. Would you give him legend status? And the answer that I gave on the pitch, almost. Okay. And I say this in the same breath as Scott Brown, almost. However, when I take into consideration what Lennon went through off the pitch, and what Scott Brown songs about his sister and absolute disgrace. I mean, it makes me go, this isn't just about football. This is about what he's going through personally as well. And on that basis, they both are in my eyes. Lennon particularly didn't really score many goals, but I mean,
this is like you said there. No matter what anyone thinks of Neil Lennon, I mean, I don't love Neil Lennon. I like him. I think he's grand, you know. But I still think nobody can say. I mean, he went through more than anyone will ever go through as a Celtic player or manager ever.
Absolutely.
I can not just Celtic football or manager. You know, and what's worse was a lot of the time it was normalised by the media, which is the worst part of it. You know, it was like, well, he's a very temperamental character and stuff like that. You know, he was hot-headed, but it still doesn't mean that he should be attacked.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, even that attacking in itself. I mean, I've met people that, you know, that they've said, you know, they say they've never had any dealings with Scottish football or anything, and they've said themselves that that's a standout point. And they were like, I can't believe he was attacked inside the pitch, and nothing was done about it, really. You know what I mean? Like, to think, it's crazy. But no, I know what you mean. You have to take into account, and then Scott Brown, the shite, gets over his sister. God love him. Like, that's,
it's an absolute disgrace, and it happens. You said it there yourself. It happens on Twitter, and you're saying to yourself, they're a keyboard warrior, and they're a big lad or a big girl behind Twitter, and no profile picture, and blah 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 blah. But these things are happening as people are there, you know, and it's It's a disgrace. But yeah, both get legend statuses there on my part. So, Dedrick Boyata, during the week, what the hell happened?
I don't know. Like, somebody tweeted, I think, Twitter, like, this is bigger than when the war was turned into wine. It's just, it's mad. But there you go, Brendan Rodgers, obviously. Maybe you could make me a footballer.
Yeah.
Who knows? You never know.
It's just
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, with it's not just him. It's like, I mean, let's be honest, Bruni's a different player. Tierney's much of the same, but Stuart Armstrong, and I mean, it's refreshing. It's refreshing to watch.
Even Forrest, like, I mean, I anyone that knows anything that I've written and tweet about, I've never been a fan of Forrest. I thought Celtics were sold the day he started walking again on his feet, getting out when you could sell, you know.
Yeah.
And he has turned Forrest now. I know the argument there with Paddy Robertson used to be picked and blah blah blah, but I still think Forrest is a completely transformed player. Yeah,
he's going a bit hot and cold at the minute. No, don't you think? I mean, with Roberts coming on really as an impact sub around 60-70 minutes there, maybe he's just not match fit, and maybe that's why he's going a bit hot and cold. But yeah, I mean, you're right in what you're saying. He's a completely transformed player compared to what we knew him as last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's it's just the argument that comes every time. Everyone, obviously, Paddy Roberts, I mean, if we could keep him, you'd pay anything for him, but I think he made it. I think I didn't actually see it myself during the week, but I think somebody had said he had done an interview with Celtic TV, and he had said that he's looking forward to going back to Manchester or something. And listen, let him. I go like, yeah, off you go, thanks a lot, kind of thing. I say, no, listen, thanks, off you go in the nicest possible way, you know. I think the lad wants to go back to Manchester and lead him to it. But I would think he would be better served staying another season at Celtic for himself.
Yeah.
You know, but I can understand the lad wants to go back and lead him to it. You know, he's been great, and I think I only tweeted last week saying my opinion on the Forrest and Roberts situation is that I think Brendan obviously knows the situation better than any of us do, right? He's obviously been told, look, this lad, you have another 5 or 6 games of him and he's gone, or you know, something's been said. He knows, right? So I think Rodgers is looking at it and going, I may as well get the best out of Forrest while I can, because I don't mean this in a bad way, I'm stuck with him, but I am stuck with him, as in, Roberts has got to be gone, he's gone back, and then people were coming back with opinions, well then should we have ever played Roy Keane, because we got our Robbie Keane, because we got them out on loan, should we ever have played, and I'm like, no, that's not the point of it, he knows he's going, and he has a player there that's not like 100% fit, right, also, you know, blows hot and cold can be a bit of a nightmare, right, and some days I watch Forrest on the telly and I hate him, right? And then there's other times I watch him and I'm like, he is outstanding, you know? So it kind of flips between the two. So I think Rodgers just needs to get an easy medium with him, and he's not going to get that if he just keeps playing Paddy, and then he turns around now in a couple of months' time and is like, right, all on you again. You know, so
make use of him while he's there. Make use of him while he's there. Make use of Roberts while he's there, type thing. And I think that's why he's bringing in this Kwasi Abouye guy. I don't know what he knows, but I mean, it's been a long while since I've said I've got complete faith in what the Celtic manager and the Celtic board are doing. So got to take it.
Which is good for a change.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rod Stewart.
Madman.
What the actual fuck?
Well, I tell you, if you were doing that now, would you not just get pissed before you done it for the crack?
Absolutely.
I mean, well, like, I can't speak for everyone, because I know people might think I have a problem with alcohol.
Not at all.
If it was me, I'd think, you know what, and he's a Celtic fan, so I mean, the SFA, like, mean nothing to him. He doesn't have to be a polite man when he's there, you know what I mean? He just does his own thing.
Yeah.
And oh my god, but I just was watching him, and it's like one of them moments, you know, like where you film a Snapchat when you're on a night out, which is what I would do. And you wake up the next morning and you go, mother of fuck, what was that? And I would say he went home and his wife or one of his kids was just like, Dad, like, I'm not being funny, but you are actually an embarrassment to this family.
It's like your dad up dancing the fucking Maniac 2000 or something, isn't it?
That was exactly it. You were just like, stop. And at the start I thought he was just kind of having a piss because they they were all professional suits and everything, but like even Alan's stuff looked like he's like, get me out of here and away. I don't want to be any part of this. I'd say Alan's stuff was sitting there and I'm saying to Teddy thinking, this is gonna go fucking viral, this video, and I'm just sitting here like an absolute bad dude, like, you know what I mean? What am I gonna even say or do? And he was just pulling out the numbers like, you know, yeah, 5, 6, no, sorry, 9. You know, it was a mess. But then your man tried to shake his hand at the end of it and everything, and he's like going behind the curtain. I just thought, oh my god, you kept giving him drink.
He felt. I think the guy that was over.
Felt his arse.
He felt his arse. He felt violated.
Oh, your man was fuming. He was just looking at it to say, now, this is the last straw, because God only knows what was going on before the camera went.
Mental, absolute maniac. So, have you seen Train Spotting yet?
No, but I have heard from the guy who Philip does our movie reviews that he has said that there's a part in it that I would love, and then I've seen a lot of people tweeting about it. It seems to be something to do with Rachel.
Yeah, so I've seen Paul.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen Paul Larkin tweet about it, and he said that he doesn't want to ruin it, but the Huns are going to be raging. Which is always a good incentive to bring the missus to the cinema.
It's something to do. I thought we might have had him final. That's what it was, because I thought, you know, the year that was in it and everything. But the bloke at my job said no. It's to do with someone dancing or something to do with it. He just said, look, if you are a Rangers fan, you can stick. So I was like, oh right. So I'm looking forward to going and seeing it now. It should be good.
Happy days. So yeah, it's on the to-do list for me as well. So after the AGM this year, it was noted that the requisitioners, I'm pretty sure you're in the know about this thing anyway, about the whole Resolution 12 thing and so on. There would be an update 1 week later after the AGM. The AGM was in December from my knowledge, and we haven't heard anything, and we're pushing February here. From what I've heard is people who are on the case there are getting death threats and stuff like that, and so on, and it's basically the powers at work obviously don't want this to be exposed, and but I do there's an element of that, me thinking that the club has shit itself, and
I think the club just wants this. The club just leave as is now. You know what I mean? And that's that. And that's, you know what, the way I feel about things now. I not that I don't care, but I just think now everybody knows they were liquidated. Everybody knows they're a new club, and everybody knows that, right? Even they know that, and they can say that if that's bollocks, that's the truth, right? But I just think Celtic now, the way they're looking at it is there any point in going back over this again and again? But then, you know what? People have paid good money all them years to go and watch Celtic lose titles when they essentially cheated to win them. Absolutely. So I can understand why people are pissed off, you know, and the fact that it's been swept under the carpet and people don't want to talk about it. And in fairness, I'll be honest with you here 100%. I'm not saying that like I had a terrible time, but I've dealt with a good few people that were involved in some of the stuff online, and I can tell you now, it's not nice. You know, it's not nice. I had to go to the guards myself before. It's some of the things are really scary. So I could imagine there, and I mean that was only because I wrote a piece on someone on the club being liquidated. So could you imagine if someone's going to be handing over a file that's going to expose all this stuff, and you like whoever does that is a brave boy. Yeah. You know, because is it worth it? Even the guy in court the other day, I was following that court case where, you know, they're suing Coral.
Oh yeah.
Bookies.
Yep.
And I mean, they were naming people's names right in court, and I was thinking, if I was called up to that court case, I wouldn't want to be named, because people don't understand. Some people treat Twitter as it's not real life, but it's a different world.
They hold you to your word.
Yeah, and like people online, like I mean, I can only tell you, people online asking for your house address and stuff like that. Like people can laugh and say, no, you do anything. But would you take the chance? I certainly wouldn't. You know,
in fairness, I have done that. So, but it was just some dick like tweeting me, and I says, "Here's my address. Come and get me. Come on."
Oh, you mad bastard! Well, you know that's all well and good, but like I just didn't like that element of it. You know what I mean? And it was just, and like I said, it was over the most ridiculous thing. Some people online are just crazy, and I mean crazy, and their whole life is. You know, my whole life is Celtic. I like all of us, you know, you love, that's the one thing I enjoy and I love. But I mean, when it goes to a level of that girl said something I didn't like, so I'm going to try and find out where she lives to threaten her. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. And I think, like you said about this situation with Celtic, I don't think Celtic are fair because, let's be honest, everyone that will be involved and that will be taken. There'll be no worries on their part, right? They're always going to be fine. But it's whoever is going to take this on. I mean, you've seen it in Scotland with some of the journalists. And you know what? I can't blame them. Now, I don't agree with the fangirl and that kind of thing. Now, all Rangers are great just to sell papers.
Yeah.
But I can understand why a lot of them haven't come out and spoke about it, because I'm telling you now, so some people are crazy. Like, I mean, Carl wouldn't even use the word liquidation in that trial case because mob mentality. You know what I mean? It's just, to think it is crazy the way things go.
Yeah, you're sort of living your life looking over your shoulder type thing, and you can't completely disregard someone else's mentality if they're that fucked up in the head that they're going to actually go through with something like that, you know. So yeah, you're 100% right. 100%
it's just
right.
It is crazy. Some people just, like, you know yourself, and it's not putting a big doom and gloom because that's all over for me now. I got to the stage where I was like, I don't even go on and cover any Celtic matches anymore because this is just a load of shite. You know, I'm following a football club and that's all I'm doing. You know, and obviously I don't like Rangers, but like, how is that? Some tweet me and goes, she just hates Rangers. But like, if you support Liverpool and you hate Man United, obviously you'd hate Man United. I don't like Rangers. I don't have to like Rangers. It doesn't mean I'm sectarian.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like. I support Celtic, so yes, shock horror. I don't like Rangers.
Get over it.
You know, but that's, you know, and that's why I feel for these guys now. And I mean, I've the utmost respect for the guys who are pushing it, because I've dealt with a few of the guys that online and stuff. They said stuff on to me, and I think fair play because they're just not letting it be pushed under the carpet and forgotten about, you know. But they're going to come up against a lot of walls because you're going to get people now that are just saying, look, leave it now. You know, it's just, you're not going to get anywhere, and that's sad. I'm not saying you're not going to get anywhere. What I'm saying is that is going to be the response of a lot of people now because of what it entails to, you know what I mean, get it out there.
Yeah.
It's so sad, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, really, isn't it? So, next question for you is that this season, are we on for a treble, or are we on for an invincible treble?
I take the treble.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I'll take the treble, happy days, and whatever comes after that, then I'm delighted. But would I like to see a treble? It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, and it was pointed out that the week of the Scottish Cup final is the anniversary of the anniversary of Lisbon is in that week. And
oh, no way.
So it's if you listen back to my previous podcast, Lisa Miller went into detail on it. So she's booking a week off work. I'm going to do it as well. But I mean, what a time to be alive. You know, it's.
Oh, this is it. It's all great. This is what I mean. I think today you're going to notice a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of things online of people saying, "Oh, calm down. This is nothing. Sure, you're playing a shite league. Granny can play in that league.
Yeah.
It's a fun team. It's a this, it's that." Don't let anyone put this down, because I'm telling you, this is something special.
Absolutely.
And it is great, you know. And if it was anybody else's club out there, Leeds, if it was Birmingham, if it was anyone else, it would be
the same.
Fantastic. It's just because it's Celtic. It's completely being put down to. Oh, but sure, they wouldn't have done that if Rangers had it there last year. They would, you know. It's just because Rangers are playing shite at the minute. It's just, you know, Aberdeen are miles behind them as well. This is all a load of shite, right? This is something unbelievable. And for it, since 1967, this record hasn't been broken. Like.
Yeah, Madrid were beaten there last week, and other than that, it was Celtic and Madrid were on the longest run in Europe at the moment. So tell me, you're in favour of the slump continuing then, Rachel? Yeah.
Keep it coming. Just win everything. Give us everything I just get now. I can't understand people that come out and say what was it? Top sports journalists came out and put a tweet saying something like, "This is nothing to be celebrating. These wins. At the end of the day, if I was a Celtic fan or something, this would just all get boring for me." Sorry, hang on a second. When does supporting your football team and them winning every week get boring? Like,
yeah, I know.
You turn on the telly and see Celtic win 3-0 and go, oh, they 3 goals. But you know, something is a thrill. No, you just keep winning, and like I said, if it's 5-1-0, that's it. Just keep taking the wins and keep going. That's just complete bitterness, you know what I mean, from other people. And yeah, fair enough. We are playing the league that isn't as high as a standard as what our club may be. But that doesn't matter. I mean, you can go and play a team in League 2 and they can beat you 2-0 on their good day.
Absolutely.
You know, that means nothing. So, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Keep it going. So treble, yeah, definitely. So yeah, like I said, my first memory was a treble, and that was when I was 11 or 12. So this one will suit me lovely now when I'm 25.
Happy days. Right, so Hearts today, kicking off in half an hour's time. So I know what I'm going to be doing. Give me a prediction for today.
I'd say 2-0.
2-0. Any scores?
It depends on who's starting. I don't think he's not going to start Christmas, let's be honest.
Let me just check. I think they normally announce the team a bit before, so we will soon. So here we go. Gordon. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, here. My phone shit itself. So Gordon, Gamboa, Simunovic, Boyata, Tierney, Beacon, Brown, Armstrong, Sinclair, Forrest, Roberts. Oh
right.
dear.
Okay.
So am I reading that right? So there's no Dembele there.
No.
Subs: DeFries, Mackay-Steven, Lustig, Sviatchenko, McGregor, Henderson, Aitchison. So they're not even on the bench.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Strange.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said to you before I came on. I seen that there was a few mad tweets that had gone out about players being out, so maybe that was true. I don't know.
Yeah, plenty of.
Go Scott Sinclair, 2 goals.
Yay. So, yeah, I'm going to say both teams to score today, and Celtic win 3-1.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So, we'll take that whatever way it comes. So, Rachel, anything else you want to add?
No, it's been a pleasure, yapping away.
Yeah, pleasure is all mine. So, I just want to I'll do a couple of plugs for the other podcasts and things that's going on in the moment. At the moment, I am trying to get 2 people on for us to interview. Obviously, you can take over the interviewing side of things, being a journalist and things like that. One of those people is Robert King.
Cool.
Robert King is the Black Panther, who was on television with the Celtic jersey on. So I've sent an email to him as well. And the second one is Stan Collymore. So what I want,
very good.
I want to just understand, because reading his tweets for a while, he was led to believe.
I actually know Sam. He's harmless. Well, he's taken a lot of shit online, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean,
I think he buys into it all as well, doesn't he? Kind of knows now where his support comes from. So
yeah. So I mean, it was what I was more interested in, and I also wanted to get to hear it from that priest, Michael Duffy.
Yeah.
So 3 people I'm working on at the moment, just to hear their Celtic story and how it found them and the rationale behind it, really, more than anything. So. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm all good. So I just want to plug the other shows on Hail Hail Media. Ball Boys. You've got the Colonial podcast there with Ewan, the Homeboys. There was a new pilot podcast came out there during the week. Really enjoyed it. Don't know the guys' names, but it was great work. The History Boys, Smell the Glove in America. Those guys do a great job. And I also am a big fan of Chris Long's Celtic Dream show tonight at 10 p.m. Celtic Park time. I get all my Celtic news on the Celtic News Now app. And also don't forget to check out Paul Larkin's Anyone But Celtic Tour. Get Paul on Twitter at PaulLarkin74 or ls86productions.com. The asterisk gears and everything else is on there at the moment. So other than that, business is done here. Our maiden podcast, myself and Rachel. Really enjoyed it, and we will probably, I'm out on the Raz next weekend, so it's probably going to be another few weeks depending on Rachel's availability, but we'll get back to you. So it's a hail from me.
And thanks very much for listening.
Yeah, Rachel, thank you very much, and look after yourself, and I'll be in touch, okay? Hail everybody.
Thanks very much.
Big win today. Bye.